Hello, everyone. It's Hadley down at tennis. I'd like to welcome you back to another Hillcrest at Home Live virtual series. We're in the indoor courts today. They're obviously closed, but it's raining outside, so we've got to be in here. Just wanted to recap what we discussed last week, yesterday. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about, a lot about our pre-match warm-up or your pre-practice warm-up. We talked about dedicating at least 5 minutes to getting the heart rate up and get your blood moving, starting a match or a practice when your body is cold definitely does not help get the most out of your practice or your match. So really dedicating those at least 5 minutes to that warm up. And then we also went through and did some exercises and some dynamic stretching that you can do before your match. It really stimulates that nervous system and gets that blood pumping with your heart and then also in your brain. So, especially when you're nervous, you're feeling a little bit of pressure before that match, really a good idea for you to get that body moving and to kind of work through that, through those nerves, because it tends to make our feet a little bit heavy and our brain is a little bit foggy. So really that dynamic warm up and that 5 minutes of light cardio will really help maximize your match play. So go to that video from yesterday. I'd highly recommend watching it. I think it has a lot of good information. Okay, so today we're going to be discussing how to practice tennis at home. This is another great warm-up bit if you don't have a court to hit on before your match. Really a great way to warm up, and also it's a great way to get a little bit of cardio. We're going to be doing 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, so that kind of exercise. So you're getting a workout plus you're practicing your strokes, so you get a 2-for-1 kind of thing. So first off, and then we're also going to be discussing some fundamentals on your toss. So we're going to first off start with the toss, and then we'll move into those shadow strokes and some exercises that you can do. So we're going to discuss that toss. I think the tendency here, we have there's a lot of things going on when you're serving, but that toss, if the toss is not in the right spot, everything else is not going to fall into place. So we really have to make sure that our fundamentals are solid in regards to the toss, and then everything else will follow suit. So today we're going to talk about first of all, where should your toss be, okay? And if you're standing on the baseline and your arm is directly out in front, and then your right arm this is for right-handers, your right hand is parallel with the baseline, so you're making that right angle, you can see, okay? So that right angle. Now your toss should be right about that 45-degree angle, so right in the middle. So it should be following that left foot, okay? And that left foot will always point to the net post, okay? So that's kind of your visual, okay? And where it should be located, okay? Now, I think a lot of people tend to, their toss is too far straight, and so then they have no shoulder turn. But if you're keeping it at that 45, that allows your shoulder turn here. You see that, okay? But if it's too far to the left, then your shoulder's open, and now we have no rotation, okay? So So that's your visual, 45-degree angle, okay? Here's another view. So you're here, 45-degree angle, boom, right here, okay? Now, another concept of fundamental aspect of the toss is when do you release it? And typically people release too early. So they're releasing right around their hip height. We really are looking to release somewhere between your chin and the top of your head, okay? So if we're looking at my toss, I release right about eye level, okay? Okay, so when you toss, think, because the tendency is now we have that moving arm, right? But really, when your hands come back, I start up a little bit. Don't start too far down because then you have to come up. So start up, okay? And then hands come down, then you release. And then as you release, then that right hand comes around, okay? So as you release, the right arm comes around and then you can hit. So now, when we talk about how to hold the ball, a lot of people cup it, okay? We get into a little bit of trouble because our hand starts to, the structure of our hand and our arm tend to bend too much. And if we have it too far up in our fingertips, now we have less control. Okay, so we're looking to just kind of like toss, nice and easy, toss. Okay, and when the ball is tossed, you don't want the ball to be spinning. Okay, it shouldn't be spinning. You should be able to read the label on the ball when you toss. Okay, so when I step up, nice and light in the fingers. Okay. Toe it at my 45, hand up slightly, not too far up, here, and then you're gonna lift, drop, toss, come around, okay? And then I can read Wilson US Open on my toss when I toss it. There it is. Okay, and when you toss, you don't want to, after you've released, you don't want to see your fingers curl. You really want to see your hand so that it's open. So if you see mine, okay, my fingers don't move. They just set it up, okay? If your fingers curl, you'll typically notice that the ball is spinning because your hand is flicking it this way, okay? So that's kind of a good indicator. If your toss seems to be moving all over the place, check to see if the ball is rotating. If the ball is rotating, it's because your fingers are flicking the ball too much. Okay. Okay. So then we'll talk about the tempo of the toss. Okay. So sometimes we're like, oh, you do need to go slow. Okay. If you go too slow, now you don't have any momentum this way. So it goes, you're on your take back, it's slow, and then you accelerate your hand as it comes up. So it's slow on the take back, so you're slow to gather your momentum, accelerate as you go to toss, because you still need that momentum for the ball to go up, okay? So that momentum, as you toss it nice and smooth, but your take back, typically the faster you go here, the less control you have. So making sure that it's nice and controlled and set that ball up like you're setting it up on a shelf, nice and controlled that way, okay? And like I said, after you release, the palm of your hand needs to be to the sky. So that's kind of your, we talked about those fingers, palm of the hand to the sky, okay? And then, so just, I think the big thing is not changing the structure of your arm with your toss, because as your arm bends, now the toss, look where the toss is going to go. Or it can be too far out here because your wrist breaks too much. So make sure your arm stays straight the whole time. Don't change the structure of it, okay? All right, so really I think those are some key points. In regards to the location of your toss, you don't want it to be too terribly high, but you do want it to be just so that your arm has time to come around, and you're going to be hitting it just as it's starting to drop. So it's not, because the tendency is, we do say you want to be fully extended with your arm and racket fully extended, but that doesn't mean that's how high your toss should be. That is where you should be making contact. So your toss needs to be slightly above that contact point. So if this is my arm fully extended, I need my toss to be here, and by the time I make contact, it's just dropped slightly. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, definitely post a comment or give me a call, because that is very technical. But I think if you can figure out that placement of your toss, that's going to make a huge difference with your timing. And now everything else will connect. Okay, so again, getting that toss just high enough so that you have time to come around. Okay, and it's really practicing that timing. So you really have to separate, toss, hit, okay? And then getting that racket to come through at a faster rate. If your toss is in the right spot, the kinetic chain will follow, and now you're going to have a more effective serve, okay? So definitely some good tips and basic fundamentals. But if we can master those fundamentals, it's going to help your serve. It's going to help a lot of components of your serve that break down in a match. So, okay. So now we're going to move on to our little at-home tennis skills workout. So what we're going to be doing, I have set up some cones here. So orange, green, and red. And what you're going to do, I'm going to give you a little sample of what it's going to look like and some different sequences, and then we'll move on to the next few things. So first off, we're going to go side to side. Really, that middle cone, that red one, is really just as an indicator visual to come back to the center. Okay, so what we're going to do. So each time you go out to a cone or to a mat, you're going to hit your ground stroke, okay? But each time you come back to the center, you have to make sure that you kind of split step and get into position. So you're going to come out, you're going to hit, split step, boom, boom, here, boom, okay? So you can go side to side. Do that about 45 seconds, okay? Doing side to side, coming back to the center each time. Okay, now we're gonna do a change of direction, okay? So what we're gonna do, and you can do all sorts of different patterns, but really the big thing is practicing that swing and practicing that split step when you come back, recovering back to the center. So here, you're going to be out, and then I'm going to come back, backhand, boom, oh, then a short ball, here, back up, short ball, boom, okay? again, go 45 seconds, working on that change of direction and hitting those forehands and backhands, working on those short balls, okay? So doing, I would say 2 sets at least, if not 3, 45 seconds each, okay? Now, a great one to do, okay, is you can do your volleys as well. So coming back to the middle each time, okay? So the green one is the middle, and you're going to forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand. And this really helps keep the integrity of your technique, because you don't have a ball, okay? You don't have a ball distracting you. So you can really focus on, specifically on the volley, keeping that racket tip up and your racket still. And you'll notice when you do this, you'll notice some of the bad habits that we do. If we do it here, or if we're too flat with our shape, okay? Really focus on keeping the angle of your racket at 45, keeping that racket tip up and that hand coming first, okay? And then as you hit, it's that step, okay? And then the step, and your step. So you'll really start to notice when you do this, the importance of your technique, okay? So then we can also do the overhead. So coming back to the green box or green mat, so you touch it, work on that drop step, come back, hit your overhead, come up, hit your overhead, come up, drop step back, really working on that turn. And if we can do this, it's going to help your movement on that overhead, okay? And then the last one with this group is, working on that closing volley. So moving forward and hitting a volley. So moving forward, step, then back pedal back, move forward, hit, back pedal back, move forward, okay? So really working on that closing in and keeping your vision out, not here, but pretending that you're seeing the ball as you make contact, okay? So again, doing about 45 seconds of work, give yourself about a 15-second rest, and do that minimum 2 times. And you've got a good little workout, and then you're also practicing your shots, okay? So I'm gonna kind of turn you around over here, and okay. So now, if you have your garage door, if you have a wall, especially if you've got some of these softer, low compression balls, you can definitely do this on a wall outside of your house. The softer the ball, the better, obviously. We don't want to break a window, but you can practice that volley. Okay, and working on those small reflexes, and it also gives you a good little workout, and then that step, the further back you are, the more you can step, okay? And then another one you can do is you can lunge. Okay, on the forehand side and then the backhand side. works on those, getting down to those lower balls, okay? And then if you want to do your core, this is a good one. Keeping your feet off the ground. Okay. You know, if you need a little stability, put your feet on the ground. Otherwise, lift those feet and you've got yourself a good little core workout. Okay. Last couple of things. We're going to do a wall sit. And, you know, grab yourself a ball. Do your downs. Do your ups. And then change your grip to your continental, and it works other muscles, okay? And then if you want to practice your backhand, flip it over. So you're working those backhand muscles as well. You really want to challenge yourself, get your foot out, okay? But those kinds of things, learning how to ball control and also muscle control is really going to help trigger those muscles. And then in match play, you're going to see a huge difference. So anyway, I hope this gave you some good tips and ideas as to some things you can do at home, using a wall, using your driveway, your backyard patio, whatever. Really trying to maximize your equipment, maximize your space to help you stick with tennis. And I hope to see you at the court soon. Hope you have a wonderful day, and Hillcrest strong. Have a great day. Bye-bye.